Good morning, everybody. Welcome to one of my first big videos for Quarters Up, my new channel here on YouTube. My name is Alex. I'm also known as Woggerman online, on X, on Instagram, on Bluesky, uh, PSN, Xbox, Nintendo, everywhere. Um, this is not how I wanted to start my podcasting career and making a video, but some big news hit this morning that I think we really need to discuss, which is the Game Pass additions and price increases. I think we are in a really weird space with the video game industry at this moment, and I think it's important that we discuss kind of where we're at, why this is happening, whether or not it's a good or bad thing it's happening, um, and what we can do about it to hopefully um, make it better as a community, as gamers, as everything else. So let's begin. I just want to come out and say what I feel regarding the well, let's go over the price increases and everything first, and then I'll talk about what I feel. So I'm going to pull up the graphic that they released this morning. Here we go, and Game Pass has kind of changed the tiers and what's included in each tiers. So we now have the Essential, which is 50 plus games, which are playable on PC, console, and cloud, which is new to the 9.99 a month tier. You do get the ultimate cloud gaming, unlimited cloud gaming. Now, keep in mind that this is probably throttled a little bit, so you're not going to get the highest quality in terms of streaming, nor are you going to get the fastest times to launch the game. So but you will be a basic cloud gaming tier. You will get obviously the benefits, which include the perks for your online games and free to play, console multiplayer, which is a given, and then I guess they have this new reward system within. I guess if you buy some certain games within Game Pass, you'll earn a little bit more than you normally would with Microsoft Rewards. Um, all in all, $9.99 a month. Okay, it's not for me since I'm more of a hardcore gamer and I like to play all my games, all the new games. So for me, it's not worth it. But again, at least they give you that option. Um, Regardless. So, premium, which is kind of the mid tier, 14.99 a month, you're going to get 200 games, plus games, I should say, also on PC, console, and cloud. Um, you will get better wait times, so they'll be shorter for the cloud gaming, but I assume it still will be a lower quality than the ultimate. You'll get the Xbox published games within a year of launch. That's kind of new because they really didn't give us a time frame before, so now we have that. You'll still get your perks, your online console multiplayer, and it looks like it's double the rewards up to $50 a year for the games um, purchased within Game Pass. Again, it's okay. Um, it's nice to at least have a time frame for the Xbox published games. As like, for instance, this year we've had almost 12 games, I think it is, be published. So, those games will all be available, made available for this tier next year. So it's a pretty good deal. Um, I mean, as far as it's concerned, it's probably the most well-rounded one for people that aren't hardcore gamers. And it's a little bit more expensive than it was, but still not a terrible thing. This next one, the ultimate, is where we see the biggest difference. And while they did add some things, I still think it was quite a bit of a jump. It's a 50% jump from 19.99 to 20.99 a month. You do get the upgraded cloud, which is I think up to 1440p, really short wait times. You'll get all the day one games per year, that including all the Microsoft published games. They've added the Ubisoft Plus Classics, which is, if I remember correctly, those are 2-year-old games approximately. After 2 years, they come to the classics and they'll be playable. EA Play, of course, is still included. And Fortnite Crew, which I'm not 100% familiar with because I don't play Fortnite, but again, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are interested in that. Um, Again, the cloud gaming is at the best quality. You still get all the perks, the online multiplayer, and then the rewards are up to $100 a year, so a little bit better there. Um, What do we think about that? I will say that I am not happy. That doesn't mean I'm going to give up on Game Pass. That doesn't mean I'm going to unsubscribe. I don't like when anything goes up in price. I don't think it's a good look for Microsoft or Xbox. I think there's some issues. Um, do I understand it? I think as a fan, as a consumer, um, I don't like it. As someone who's been in business, um, specifically in the video gaming business on the retail side, I was a buyer for EB Games or Electronics Boutique way back in the day. In fact, I was helping buy Xbox when it first came out. So I'm very familiar with the video game industry in terms of costs, margins, retail. Um, I know I know some of the thinking that goes on with these decisions, and I feel like it makes sense when you're looking at bottom line, but maybe not if you're looking for goodwill and community. And that I think is where the disconnect lies with this decision. Um, so let's just put it out there. I actually have about 2.5 years worth of Game Pass left on my subscription. So it doesn't affect me in the short term, but it will affect me in the long term. God knows what it's going to be when 2028 rolls around. But um, I think for many people that are that 1999 they felt like that was a great deal are going to be hard pressed to continue on at $30 a month. That's 360 a year. Now, let's do the maths. Why would Xbox or Microsoft want this to come to, a head? I mean, they just announced that they made $5 billion, which is the highest revenue for Game Pass in the last year. So they make record profits or record amount of money, but they're still raising the price. Well, they're going and doing the math and figuring out what would be the fallout from this versus how much they could make. So you raise the price by 50%. Let's just say you have 10 million subscribers to Ultimate. I think it's probably way more than that, but I'm just saying this is to make the numbers a little bit easier. 10 million at $20 a month, that's $200 million, right? We all agree on that. Um, you raise the price 50%, right? So if everybody stays, that's $300 million. Now, what if you lose, say, a third of the people, 33%? Well, guess what? You're still making just over $200 million, about $210 million, 200, yeah, just about the same. So you can have less subscribers, but still make the same amount of money. Now, do they really believe they're going to lose 33%? I don't think they think that. I think the number is probably 10 or 15 or even 20%. So in essence, they're still going to make money. Now, do I think that they're going to lose 10, 20%? I think they have the potential to lose more than the 33%. It's a very good possibility. I think if this were done during COVID, I think it wouldn't have been as destructive as I feel this is in this particular time frame due to the fact that everything is more expensive, right? Consoles are more expensive than they were 5 years ago. Um, Games are more expensive than they were 5 years ago. Subscription services, including Netflix and Prime and Hulu and Disney and all those other guys, and Peacock and Paramount, all are way up in price. So everything's gone up, nothing's gone down. And so, what does it come down to? It comes down um, to does the $30 equate to enough value for you to continue on with the service? Again, $360 a year, folks, from 240. That's a lot of money. That's 5 full price AAA games, a little more than that, right? So if you're buying more than that, you buy more than that, then yeah, it's probably worth it to you. For me, it probably is worth it, especially um, this month where I'm getting Keeper out of this world, out of outer worlds too, and um, Ninja Gaiden 4. So there's three Microsoft published games that I will be getting day one on this service. And that's probably what, 70, 140, probably around 160, $180 a year for this month worth of games for the $30. Okay? So for me, it's worth it. I'm not going to sit here and defend this in any way, shape, or form. Just because I say it's worth it for me doesn't mean I condone the 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 price increase. I think it is a really bad look. I think again where we are in the world today, in this country, in the United States, and most other countries where everything is going up, I think it's a really tough pill to swallow. I don't agree with it. And it's funny. I was listening to some podcast this morning, which actually got me to do this video. I want to shout out to Mr. Boomstick from Double Barrel Gaming. You know, uh, I got to meet him the last couple of years down at Summer Games Fest in LA, and he helped us this year with the watch party that I was so happy to help put on for all the fans of Xbox. And this guy is a true community gamer and understands the people around him. He's a blue collar guy. He's a smart guy. He's a passionate gamer, and I really appreciate his words. And he was pretty upset today, and I agree with him 100% about as a fan, as a gamer, as a person in this community. It's really hard when we have to consistently keep paying more and more and more, and we're not really getting a whole lot more with in value. Now, in this case, you are getting some more games and everything, and for some people, it's going to be a great value. Again, I'm focusing on the day one games, and I'm focusing on the cloud, which is where I get my value out of it. But again, that's not for everybody. I'd probably say it's probably not even for 90 to 95% of the people, but it is for me. But Mr. Boomstick, fantastic podcast this morning. I appreciate all of your thoughts and your game and your passion in the community, and um, it's inspired me. And so, thank you very much. And by the way, that goes to all the people in the Xbox community and the video gaming community. I have been following almost everybody in the Xbox community, like Colt and Rand and Jez and Fonz and Mag and the Iron Lords, who are just fantastic guys, and just everybody has been so kind. Ben Kenobi has been so kind to me. Hargeet, I just really appreciate all you guys, and I'm going to do a proper video thanking all of you and talking more about where my channel is going to go and everything at a future date, probably later this week. So, but thank you all for all your hard work and inspiring me to get my voice out there. So back to the what's on hand here is we are in a weird place in this world. Okay. I'm not going to get into the politics of things. Do I agree with what's happening right now with tariffs? No. Do I think this really has to do with tariffs? Probably not. But I do know prices in everything are going up. Now, just to give you some background here, I am currently a grocery store manager. Okay. Um, I I've been working in retail for a long time, 10 years for the last in grocery, and I'm seeing the prices go up. Okay. I see the costs on a daily basis. So I know what we're paying for almost everything in my store. It's going up. It's going up tremendously. And if you really believe, and I hate to say this, if you really believe that we're at the end of the prices going up, you're wrong. Okay. Um, grocery stores are famously known for not really getting much for every dollar. So for every dollar we spend, we probably are getting 2 cents, 3 cents, 4 cents in profit. Um, that's due to a lot of reasons. Grocery items, in particular, are usually between 25, 30 to 35% in gross margin. By the time labor, overhead, everything comes out, you're talking just a few cents. So when something's costs $1, and I go yesterday and see that now it costs $1.50 or $2, we're not necessarily going to raise the price 100%, like if they raise it 100%. So if it's $1 and it goes to $2 and we were charging $2, we're not going to charge $4. We'll price everybody out of the market. Nobody will come shopping for us. So we're probably going to have to go to $3 instead of going right to the 4. And what does that do? Well, that lowers the margins, which also in turn um, lowers our profits. And how do you save those numbers? How do you, without like raising the prices? Guess what? You lose labor, you lose marketing, you lose um, certain things in the store don't get fixed. You know, um, those choices end up being made, whether you like it or not. And um, while that might not be exactly what happens in video games, it kind of is because your development costs go up, your margins are going down because you have to make more money, so you have to charge more, or you can cut the labor down and save more immediately. And that's basically what's been happening. So, all of this extra, these price increases and everything are all to maintain and grow the margins, which is what corporations do. So I don't fault them for doing what they have been built to do. That's their job. Um, I think Xbox has kind of, since the beginning of the last generation, when they had all those issues with messaging, um, they built up a huge fan base by um, being close to the community. And so they were always a community forward for the last 15 years, or 12 to 15 years. Well, at least 10 years with the FanFest, have been really a community forward company. And with these acquisitions, they are liable for a lot more money and need to hit those margins. And now we're at the point where, you know, maybe Satya or Amy or any of those people came down and said, this is the margin target. This is how we're going to hit it. We have to raise the price of Game Pass, and that's what we're doing. And I've known Phil for a long time. I've known Sarah Bond. I've known Matt Booty and Aaron Greenberg and everybody, Stein, everybody at Xbox for a while since FanFest, and I do still believe and have full faith in all of them, and I do think that they have our best interests in mind. But again, it is a job, and they have to do what it is to keep the bills, keep the lights on, and make games. At the end of the day, we buy the games that are fun for us, and hopefully those games all continue. And it sounds like they are. Yes, we had some cancellations and stuff like that. There's a lot of stories that are going behind all these cancellations. It's not just a cut and dry, oh, we're just trying to save money here, we're cutting this. No, it has nothing to do with that. There's way more behind the scenes of what's going on with some of those games that they were cut. And the same with some of the studios that were cut. So I don't always put in stock, I don't always look at the outset and say like, oh, they closed this because it didn't make a lot of money. Well, it might not just be that. There might be, how far off were they on their next projects? What did they what was the scope of the project? Was there an ROI, a return on investment that was good for the type of product it was? There's a lot of things that go into that. So let's not pretend that um, it's solely about, oh, I didn't like that studio, so we're just getting rid of it, or I didn't like that gas game and I didn't get rid of it. They go through a whole team of requirements that are needed to continue working. So again, not defending the company for making those cuts. I think some of them were a little bit egregious, but at the end of the day, it's a business, and their job is to make money, and that's what they're doing. Now, as a fan, that's tough. That's a very tough pill to swallow. Um, I love Xbox. I love PlayStation. I love Nintendo. I love my PC. I love all gaming. Um, I love what Xbox has done this year with their releases. I think they've done a fantastic job. I think Ultimate is still a good value for me. Again, it may not be for other people. I don't harbor any ill will toward anybody wanting to cancel their subscription or go down a tier or anything. It's your decision. You have to do what's best for you. Um, I am, I actually took this upon myself today um, to actually go through some of the subscription services that I have and see if there's one or two that I didn't want to have anymore or I didn't use, so that it would cover the cost of the difference of this. And I found two of them. So I did, I did that due diligence and made it work. Now, again, I'm in a position that I can do that. There's a lot of people that aren't, and for that, I think I think that's the part that really hits home, is that 5 years into a generation, we should be looking at lower prices, and we're not. We're looking at higher prices, and that's really, really tough. There are reports that there's not much industry growth right now, profit growth, but not industry growth, and that's an issue, and that's going to be an issue, even bigger issue going forward. So, um, look, the other thing I hear is I listened to some podcasts this morning for some of the major outlets, and there's a lot of cynicism out there, and people who've been in the industry for a while who, you know, put a lot of outrage out there on these things, and there should be outrage, but some of the reasoning behind it is a little bit off-putting for me. I think what it comes down to is messaging. Microsoft has had some issues, and Xbox has had some issues messaging for it. But let's be realistic, folks. There's no good way to message a price increase. I mean, there's some additive stuff in here, um, and it's going to be up to the individual person to decide whether that additive is good enough for the value and the price increase that's out there. But you can't message a price increase well. There's no way to do it. You can't. It's just impossible. There's too much right now. Any price increase on anything uh, in this country, in this world, is going to be a negative. So where do we go from here? Well, I mean, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to cancel their subscriptions. Maybe Xbox takes notice and rolls back some of these changes, or rolls back partially some of these changes. Maybe they figure out another tier. And by the way, just so we're clear, the PC Game Pass is still there. I think it's 16.49. I forgot to mention that earlier. That's still a really good deal, especially if you're just a PC gamer. 16.49 for all the day one, the console, the cloud. I mean, the PC and the cloud. Um, that's almost half the price of the Ultimate, and it's worth every penny. Okay. Um, but yeah, so in the end, I think it's an individual choice. You have to be vigilant about what you're paying for some of these subscription service. My recommendation is, if gaming is on the forefront of your priority list, um, you know, go through your other charges a month for subscriptions. We all have them. I think we have some that we don't even know about. In fact, one of the ones I was looking at, I haven't used in over a year, and I've been paying for it. So that alone will cover the cost. But I mean, I would recommend, if it's something, if Ultimate is really important to you, try to figure out a way to do it. If not, again, I harbor no ill will to anybody that wants to make their point by canceling their subscription. I encourage it if you feel like that's going to help, and I hope it does. I would love for it to be rolled back, or a lower price a month. I don't think anybody would complain that's a fan, but just remember, um, this is the era we live in now, and we have to figure out creative ways to make it work. Gaming, again, is so important to my life. 51 years old. I've been gaming since I'm 4 years old. It's an everyday part of my life. I love it. I love the people that are in the industry that really are the gamers, like Phil. Phil has um, been someone that I've been in contact with here and there. And we discuss like the smaller games that we play because we both have very similar tastes. Um, and I know how much he cares about the community. But when you're a CEO, you're also paid to make these tough decisions and announcements. So it's not always the case that he may or may not agree with it. He has to because he's the CEO of Microsoft Gaming. But be aware that he is a gamer, and at the end of the day, these guys do have feelings and they do care, but they have a business to run, and that's their job. They're not here to always appease and make us the center of everything because they have, if they don't have the profitability, they don't make the games that we want. So there's a cost to everything. Again, not defending this in any way. I don't like it. I'm going to say it again. I do not like this increase. I think it's optically very bad for Microsoft and Xbox. I think it's going to put a damper on their growth, even more so than the raising the prices on their consoles. I think they have to really kind of figure out that balance between cost versus price versus appeasing the very vocal minority that's on these social media sites and hardcore gamers. With that said, I do appreciate everybody listening today. I know this has been a crazy couple weeks here. I just want to thank you all for taking the time, the 27, 28 minutes that this video is going to become. And I look forward to giving you guys more content very soon. I was planning on doing this last month, but some things came up. But I should be getting to a more regular rhythm, at least 2 to 3 videos a week going forward. Uh, I have some content planned with some really cool retro devs, talk about some of their old games in their arcades that they designed. That will be coming up hopefully in the next 30 days. Um, just working out some things and some key art. Again, this channel is going to primarily be retro gaming and current news. I know it's a weird mix, but I do want to discuss when things like this happen, and kind of give maybe some different perspective. If you disagree with anything I say, please comment. Tell me about it. I want to hear it. I want to have the dialogue. In fact, going forward, I'd like to even have some of the community on with me to discuss and counterpoint all the stuff that I'm saying. It's important to have everybody's voice heard, even those who don't necessarily have the ability to start a channel and do stuff. Let's get everybody on here and let's talk. Let's figure out what's best for the gamers, what's best for the community, what you like, what we like, what I like, and try to come together as a community and focus on making sure and holding accountable all the big players. Because it's not just Xbox, folks. Nintendo's guilty of it. PlayStation's guilty of it. Valve, Epic, all the guys are guilty of doing this. And it's our job to hold them accountable. That said, I still love my Xbox. I still love my PlayStation. I still love my Nintendo and my PC and my Steam Deck and my Rogue Ally. That's not going to change. I still am going to continue to play the games that I love. I play games. I don't play the console. Okay? That doesn't mean I don't have favorites. I do love my Xbox, and that is my dominant machine. But that doesn't mean we can't be critical of them when they make decisions that we don't agree with. Okay? So with that, thank you again. I really appreciate the time you take to listen. I will see you very soon. And yeah, that's it. Thank you. I really appreciate all the support. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic rest of the week.